I'm right here at the same place at the Veteran Administration, and I'm here with Hung. And Hung going to explain to me a little bit about himself, and that way all the veterans that's out there would know you talking to another veteran. So Hung, just tell us a little bit about you, why you want to talk about, and the camera's right there. So go ahead.
My name is Hung Zito. I'm a first generation Chinese immigrant. I came here in the year 1972, and I've been raised and grew up in New York City. So I consider myself a native New Yorker for the last 40 some odd year. At the age of 18, in 1984, I went right into the service because that's what I wanted to do all my life. I went into Marines because I had heavy influence of the bad things that happened in World War II, and I've seen my parents being traumatized and being powerless, witnessing all the terrible things that the Japanese did. So it's something that I've always wanted to do to make sure the bad things happen to them doesn't happen to my community, my family, my people. Fast forward, 1991, I deployed to the first Gulf War as a Marine, and after that, basically pretty much static until after 9/11, and I went to both OIF and OEF, and that includes Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. For those of you who did not realize, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba is considered the tail end of OEF, and then I had another OIF, 2007. So I am both a first Gulf War era as well as recent ONE, New Dawn, and I retire from the reserve, Army Reserve, to the April of 2017. So Marine, Army, Reserve, National Guard active altogether is 30 some odd years. Do you have anything else you want to ask me?
Not really. You said it all.
Okay. What I want to tell the veterans out there is, as much imperfection as there are, we have come a long way thanks to the veterans who fought for our better treatment in the past, especially to the Vietnam era veterans. And we owe it to ourselves to go out there and actively seek information and do better, to do one up than the Vietnam era, so that the veterans that comes after us are informed and be better treated and be treated with dignity. Because this thing with the high rate of suicidal rate, to me, that's unacceptable. And of course, these veterans has reason to choose the route that they choose, whether we agree or disagree or whatever. But I'm saying that comparison to other veterans in other country, we are nowhere near perfection, and we still have a lot of work cut out for us. But we are a lot better than veterans of other countries get treated. Imagine at World War II, you fight for your country under the Chiang Kai-shek flag, but because the communists took over, you are now considered a class enemy and enemies of the society when you fought for your country. That's messed up, to say the least. And I can tell you a few foul things that happened in the VA with lost documents and other stuff, but that's minor by comparison to this kind of blatant slap in the face and say, you better be grateful that I even honor you with the slap in the face. Again, that say, we have a lot of work cut up ahead of us for ourselves as well as future generation of veterans, and I believe this starts with attitude. Okay, and attitude starts with I told my family that after putting in X amount of years, I'm going to have injury, whether or not if I'm sitting on the desk doing the desk job or doing combat arms that I have been doing in the last couple of decades. But it's a route that we choose, it's a way of life. And with every occupation, there's plus and there is minus, there's always hazard of doing anything. You walk across the street in New York City and you don't look both ways. I don't care if it's one-way street with green light. You're putting your life in your hand. So there's always risk of everything, and we took our risk voluntarily. Some of us may not fully know the risk, but we took a risk, and this is what it is. I don't have a lot of things to tell the veterans out there other than our obligations to ourselves as well as future veterans, but all I can say is don't give up the fight. And the moment you give up the fight, you stop living. You are still breathing, but not really technically living. And the graphic version of what I tell you is this picture of a poster that I've seen of a crane swallowing a frog, but the frog was choking the crap out of the crane. And the caption said, "Don't ever give up." If things get bad, gets that bad, just think about that caption. I wish I had that picture here with me, and I can show you. But those of you who's interested in seeing what I just said, you guys can Google it. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah. And I want to appreciate that information, Hung. Really appreciate
talking to me and having me out here and speak to those who would listen.
Yes, and there's a lot of veterans out there that's definitely going to be listening to you as a true. I want to tell you the truth. When I first seen you, I thought you were a Marine. You look like a Marine guy. You just looked at. No, it's just the.
Yes, was a Marine, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just your character, your everything is just a Marine. You know, like you don't take no mess. That's a Marine is, you know.
I tell my
it's
family,
good. It's good. You've been trained good. Trained good.
I tell my family that I do take mess, but I take feces that's handed to me and I turn it to fertilizers.
There you go.
That's my attitude in life.
Yeah.
We're given feces, one shape or another in our life, but turn it into fertilizers.
Yes. So anyway, I want to try to hopefully get this out to you as soon as possible. The link. That way you can view it and you can have other friends of yours that view it and maybe you contact me again. And like I said, I have my show that comes on every Monday and Wednesday in Brooklyn. Is the Brick Arts Medium. They call it the Brick House on Fulton Street in Rockwell. So we have a studio there just for veterans, you know, and I created that platform. So you can always get back with me again. But I want to definitely send you this link. And that way you can tell me how you like it. It's going to be you know, on it, plus the other veteran, unless you just want that particular link. And, you know, just so it's an honor to meet you and an honor to hear you.
To have you
yes.
to have you talking to me over here. And,
thank you.
Give me this platform.
Yeah. And so hear from me again. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I look very much forward to it.
Yes.